You're scrolling LinkedIn on a Tuesday afternoon. Another headline hits: AI will replace 40% of jobs. You close the app. But here's the thing, you can't stop thinking about it. Everyone's talking about which jobs AI will destroy. But almost no one is talking about what actually matters, which skills will make you untouchable. That's what we're covering today. I've spent weeks digging through the research, Harvard Business Review, the IMF, the World Economic Forum, and what I found is going to change how you think about your career. Here's a number that should wake you up. Computer programmers, people who build AI, face 74.5% AI task exposure. Let that sink in. Customer service reps, 70.1%. And 37% of companies are planning to replace specific roles with AI by the end of this year. Not someday, this year. But here's where it gets interesting. The panic you're feeling? It's pointing you in the wrong direction. The jobs disappearing aren't the ones you think. And the skills that'll save you in 18 months? They're not technical? Stay with me. This is going to flip everything you've heard on its head. Let's start with what the headlines get wrong. They treat AI exposure like it means replacement. It doesn't. Exposure means transformation. The World Economic Forum projects AI will displace 92 million jobs by 2030. That sounds terrifying. But keep reading. That same report says AI will create 170 million new jobs, net positive of 78 million positions. But, and this is crucial, they won't look like the old ones. See, here's what's actually happening. AI is splitting the labor market into two lanes, and the lane you're in determines everything. Lane 1, workers whose jobs can be fully automated. They're facing displacement. Lane 2, workers who can leverage AI tools. They're seeing salary premiums up to 15%. The question isn't whether AI will affect your job. That's already settled. The question is whether you'll be directing the AI or replaced by someone who does. The IMF puts it bluntly, workers in automation-prone occupations face displacement unless they develop non-automatable skills, judgment, interpersonal communication. The stuff AI can't fake. And here's where most career advice misses the mark. They tell you to learn to code. Get technical. But the data says the opposite. BCG's 2026 research found that AI will reshape more jobs than it replaces. Reshape. Not eliminate. The tasks change, but humans stay in the loop. So what does reshaped actually look like? Let me tell you about a software engineer named Marcus. His story changed how I think about all of this. Marcus spent 8 years writing code. Good code. But 6 months ago he watched a junior dev ship the same feature in half the time using AI tools. He could see the writing on the wall. But Marcus didn't panic. He asked himself, what do I do that the AI can't? And the answer surprised him. It wasn't his coding speed. It was translating what the AI built into business outcomes. Today, Marcus earns 12% more than he did a year ago. His new title? AI Solutions Architect. He doesn't write much code anymore. He makes sure the AI's code actually solves real problems. Marcus became what I call an AI translator, the bridge between what the technology can do and what the business actually needs. That's the gap no algorithm can close. The World Economic Forum estimates that 59% of workers will require reskilling by 2030 to stay productive. That's not doomsaying, that's a wake-up call with a deadline. And here's what that reskilling looks like. 39% of workers' core skills are expected to change by 2030, not peripheral skills. Core skills. The things your job description is built around. So what are those new core skills? This is where the research gets tactical. And it's not what the bootcamp ads are selling you. Job postings requiring 4 or more new skills are paying up to 15% more in the UK and 8.5% more in the US. But look closely, those skills aren't all technical. The premiums are highest for roles combining technical literacy with judgment, stakeholder management, and, this is key, the ability to read the room, human skills that no model can replicate. Let me break this down into something you can actually use. I'm calling it the AI Survival Playbook. 3 moves over 90 days that position you for what's coming. Move 1, the task audit. This week, list every task you do in your current role, every single one. Then mark which ones AI could handle in 18 months. Be honest, this isn't about judgment, it's about clarity. The tasks you can't mark. Those are your leverage points, the stuff that requires reading between the lines, making judgment calls, navigating office politics. Double down there. Move 2. Become the translator. Companies don't just need people who can use AI. They need people who can bridge AI outputs and business decisions. That's Marcus's playbook, and it's working across industries. Start by volunteering for AI-related projects at work, even if you're not technical, especially if you're not technical. The gap isn't in AI knowledge, it's in explaining what AI can do to people who don't speak that language. Move 3. Signal your adaptability. Consider getting prompt engineering certified within the next 90 days. Not because the certification teaches you everything, but because it tells employers you're paying attention. 60% of companies report layoffs are likely in 2026, but the flip side? They're desperately hiring people who can make AI work for the business. Demand is shifting, not disappearing. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds exhausting. Another thing to add to the list? But here's the reframe that changed my perspective. You're already adapting constantly. Every new software your company rolls out, every reorg, every new boss with different priorities. This is just the next adaptation, with higher stakes and clearer rules. And there's a shortcut most people miss. You don't have to become technical. You need to become the person who asks the right questions about technical things. That's a completely different skill set. Start with these 3 questions for any AI tool. What did you assume to get this answer? Where might you be wrong? What would you need to know to be more confident? You just became an AI auditor. Companies don't just need AI users, they need AI governors. People who can ensure the technology is being used responsibly. That's a skill set with serious scarcity and serious premiums attached. Let me tell you about one more person. Amira was a customer service team lead. Remember, that's a 70% AI exposure category. She could have panicked. She didn't. Instead of fighting the AI chatbots taking over routine inquiries, she positioned herself as the person who trained them. Who caught their mistakes? Who handled the escalations they couldn't? Amira's salary went up 18% last year. Her title changed from team lead to customer experience AI specialist. Same industry, completely different trajectory. The pattern here is consistent. The survivors aren't running from AI. They're running toward the gap between what AI can do and what businesses actually need. That's where the premiums live. Now, I've been talking a lot about knowledge work. But what about other sectors? Here's where the data gets counterintuitive. Healthcare, skilled trades, and leadership roles are seeing the lowest AI displacement risk. A robot can diagnose, but it can't hold a patient's hand. A model can design, but it can't fix your plumbing at 2 a.m. If you're considering a career pivot, these sectors might deserve a harder look. Not because they're immune to change, nothing is. But because the human element is baked into the value proposition. All right, let's pull this together, because I want you to leave with more than concepts. I want you to leave with a plan. Week 1-4, complete your task audit. Identify your non-automatable leverage points. Have 3 conversations with people in AI-adjacent roles at your company. Gather intelligence. Week 5-8, start building your translator credentials. Volunteer for one AI-related project. Doesn't have to be technical. Maybe it's documenting what the AI can and can't do. Maybe it's training colleagues. Week 9-12, make it visible. Update your LinkedIn with AI-relevant projects. Consider a certification that signals adaptability. Start positioning yourself as the person who bridges the gap. 90 days, that's all this takes. Not a career overhaul, not going back to school, just strategic repositioning with the research as your guide. Remember, the World Economic Forum says 170 million new jobs are coming. Those jobs need humans, but they need humans who understand how to work alongside AI, not against it. The panic you see in the headlines, it's real for people who don't adapt. But the opportunity? It's equally real for those who do. And now you've got the playbook. If you found this useful, consider subscribing. We put out new episodes every week breaking down the career moves that actually work. No fluff, just actionable strategy. Here's your cheat code for the week. Exposure isn't replacement. The 74% number isn't a death sentence, it's a signal. A signal that the skills market is shifting. Fast. The workers who thrive won't be the ones competing with AI on speed or accuracy. They'll be the ones doing what AI can't, making judgment calls, reading rooms, translating tech into business outcomes. 90 days, 3 moves, 1 repositioned career. You've got the research, you've got the playbook. Now the only question is, what are you doing this week? I'm coming at you next week with another strategy you can actually use. Until then, stop scrolling the doom headlines. Start building the skills that make you irreplaceable. This has been Career Cheat Codes. See you next time.